Trend Catalyst Traders is for educational purposes only. You must consult a financial advisor before deploying real assets of any kind. Everything discussed or mentioned here are just my thoughts and ideas. After you consult a financial advisor, you must trade your plan within your means. Hello everyone. I hope traders and investors alike were green on Friday. This is a holiday week, so we're coming into Thanksgiving. Looks like the market's closed on Thursday for Thanksgiving Day. Looks like the equity market's closing at 1 and the bond market closing at 2. A little different. Usually the bond market's not open at all. We'll see how that works out. Actually, through previous to today, I actually thought the market was open for a full day, so we'll see how that works out. We do have NVIDIA reporting on Tuesday after hours, so that's probably our biggest catalyst for the week. We do have FOMC minutes as well. We do have Zoom reporting Monday, tomorrow after close. We got HPQ, so H&P's reporting low. Audio Desk, looks like telecom's in there. Looks like Dick's Sporting Goods, BBY, Baidu's in here, Deere's in here, Key, FUTU, Burlington Coat Factory. So we do have a couple AEO American Outfitters. There's a couple of the retail names as well, which we're going to look at some charts there. We need to see where this money is going. So let's take a look at our Econo data. Pretty light this week. The biggest thing is FOMC minutes at Tuesday on 2, not Wednesday, but Tuesday at 2. Definitely want to see what we do get there. We do have some auctions this week as well. Let's get into the price action because we do have some added charts this week and a few other things to look at. So our put to call ratio, we are back into the bullish zone for the third day in a row at 86. Now I just want you to look at some of the hardest times that we've been trading in. You can see last November was up here. But remember when the market broke in the beginning of the year, the market rallied really nice. February, you can see just a little dip down in this area. But if you remember, we traded very well. And then come back for April, May, June. And July slowed up, but it took a while to get the trend to change. But you can see some of the best trading times of the year, we were down in this area. It just a change in character of the options market there. It's kind of what we're looking for. You can see how it trades in these phases. And we've been stuck in this phase. We want to get out of that phase. The options traders, the short-term options traders like myself, and mostly the most of what our group does, we're definitely ready for a change in that options market. So we got the oscillators for the NASDAQ 211, and for the New York Stock Exchange we have 176. So we have plenty of room to move. We can definitely move in either direction. The NASDAQ is getting a little warm. We would like to see that cool off a little bit, and unfortunately we can get that with a chop day as well as pulling back. So this is the S&P 500, the SPX. We do have this huge level up here at 45.15. We do need to clear that. This level right here, this is the weekly time frame. This level right here needs to be cleared. It actually highlighted that. You can see we put a price on that if you look at the thumbnail. It's positive 11.52 on Friday, which was a decent move back up, but our moving average is still not yet turning back up. We will do a short this week covering a divergence, but this is still showing a divergence here. And it reminds me of this one back here where we struggled a little bit. We were able to continue to push higher before breaking down. So it could be exactly what's happening right here. It looks very, very similar so far. Definitely want to be keeping a close eye on this. And it makes sense, though, for a small pullback. Doesn't mean we got to pull back and put in an all-new low. Could just be signaling for a small gap-filling type pullback, and that could be the perfect buying opportunity. We're going to look more at some charts here, especially as we get to the SPY. This is the SPX Equal Weight Index. So this is more like the New York Stock Exchange. It's broader than just the S&P 500, and you can see this particular pattern down here, very inverted head and shoulders. Not exactly inverted head and shoulder. We could draw a neckline. I wasn't meaning to draw the neckline with that downtrend there, just showing the downtrend break with a strong move up, contracting right now, waiting to take that 200 out. But just the pattern on this chart is going to look very familiar. We're going to look at a few more charts here coming up. The dollar, H sell pattern confirmed below. Can we move lower? That's what we want to see. We want to see the dollar breaking down. We don't want to see the dollar crashing or nothing like that, but we do want to see some weakness into the dollar coming in because that helps the market move lower, or it will help the market move higher as the dollar moves lower. The VIX got to close below this area. We were watching this H sell pattern type move on or last week, finally getting something to close below. Maybe we can start to move lower there. That'll also help the market. Crude, strong candle on Friday, pushing back up for a bear flag type move. See what we do get this week on crude. As long as we're below that 9, we're looking for rejections. Apple, little bit of indecision up here, just showing a little bit of a topping candle, showing that it may want to come back in and retest a 9. Kind of what the breadth chart's telling us. We may need to come back in and do some retesting on some of these major indexes. One thing about that breadth chart is it follows so that chart itself follows the New York Stock Exchange, which is broad. And we know we have some issues with the small caps right now. We can clearly see that in the IWM. So seeing the stronger names is what's carrying the market. If we see signs that the stronger names may need to pull back, it may pull the market in a little bit. It all makes sense if it works out. It's, we're not looking for an all new low, just a viable dip if we pull back in. Apple, you can see this nice trend line here on the 15-minute chart. We can take that out tomorrow. Keep an eye on that. We'll look for we could get rejection and move lower as well, but definitely going to keep an eye on that line on our intraday charts tomorrow. Gold trying to push higher, strong bullish engulfing on Thursday. Definitely want to keep an eye on that. It's got a level up here it needs to clear. I like it better if it clears that area. Maybe we can get a decent move out of it. We just need room to move. So you're just looking for assets that has room to move without a whole lot of struggles. And that's pretty much the key. That way you can make money without a whole lot of struggles. Get to your targets a lot easier. So this chart tells us the amount of stocks, the percentage of stocks that's above the 200 and the 50-day for the New York Stock Exchange and the S&P 500. So the red's the 200-day. So right now, 50.62%. So 50% of stocks that are held in the New York Stock Exchange are at or above their 200-day, and 66% are at or above their 50-day. Better, getting the health there is getting a lot better. As for the S&P, you got 54% and then 71% at or above their 50-day and 54% at or above the 200-day. So we're seeing some improvements there. This is the advanced decline line. You can see they are turned up. Nice push there. Aflac. So Aflac, this has been a nice little breakout, come right back, retested, and was able to push back up. So you got your breakout, come back in, retesting your trend line, your 50, pushing back up. You can kind of see a very small cup and handlish move right there. You've got the MACD trying to set up, or the moving average is trying to set up. Your MACD looks decent, but this does want to go up. If we get a candle to close up above, Aflac may be a buyer. Now, please, Aflac's not a huge volume stock, so be careful with that one. AMD. Not sure what that candle right there is all about. You can see the 15-minute chart trading pretty flat. Amazon daily, we got a close back above this previous level of resistance. You can see your volume profile bar. There is a little bit of resistance up above us. Strong chart. Like I say, this is the daily, and you can see the moving averages look great there. If we can respect them for a move up, want to see it take out bullish above the range high right there. Your MACD looks great here as well. You can see your little goose head setting up. Looks like it doesn't want to go higher. RK, nice close above. This is a nice looking chart. I'm not a fan of Kathy. I'm not a fan of Kathy's holdings. But the fact is, she does hold some assets, and they are worth keeping an eye on. So we don't track the chart because we're fan of Kathy's or the way that she invests. We track the chart looking for opportunities. It's not about favorism. Avgo, strong close. This is Avgo's weekly. We were tracking this Very tight ascending triangle type pattern. Got the close above. Seen follow through last week. Very nice move there. Let's take a look at the daily on that one. So very nice. You can also see we had this broadening wedge. Within that broadening wedge, it did this little inverted head and shoulders move. So you got the double pattern there and was able to break out. Sometimes when you're trading with a bigger overall pattern, a smaller pattern can come in and help you with your timing of the breakout of the bigger original overall pattern. So we go back to Abgo here, nice push up, looking to take out this range high. We're bullish above this range high. Sure, we are a little extended here. The moving averages look great. We'll be watching on the intraday time frames, and we're looking for a move higher. When we could get a pullback, and if we do, we will be prepared for that. AMD on the daily. Still need a close above here. If we get a close above on AMD here on the daily, we're looking for a move higher. You can see right here, money is coming back into AMD according to the CFM money flow. The MACD is a very, very nice looking MACD. We didn't even pinch here on the 0 line, just busting straight up, trying to go higher. Nice looking chart. AMD on the weekly. 3 up candles on the weekly, 9 and 20 turning up. Now the weekly time frame does look like it could pull back and retest some moving averages, and that would not be unhealthy. Pullbacks are healthy. Amazon intraday chart on the 15-minute chart. You can see the nice push up on Friday. Thursday was pretty tight, but a nice push up there on Friday. Had it on the radar. Microsoft weekly chart. Amazon weekly chart closing up above. Let's go back. Sorry if I said Microsoft. Amazon 15-minute chart. Amazon weekly chart, strong close last week, strong close again. The previous 2 weeks closing up above. Looking, still want to watch this range, this wick here. I like it better when we get a candle to close up above that wick, but this looks great. Moving averages look great on the higher time frames. Definitely looks like it's got more upside. Apple weekly chart, strong close up here as well. So 3 strong candles, 3 weeks in a row. That, it's very, very strong chart. Boeing, we had this very similar to what we looked at with the S&P, the equal weight S&P 500. We're going to see a few more like this. You can see money starting to at least dry out from coming out, maybe possibly starting to come back in. We do seen a lot of new plane orders, but those orders are not official yet until the contracts are signed. Let's remember that. The air show, a lot of people wanting to buy planes, but those orders are not official until they sign those contracts. So a lot of times you hear somebody say they want to buy 20. They're more interested in buying 8, which is still sales, but may not always be as quite as good as it appears to be. So we do have a gap down here. We did gap up out of our pattern and holding up here. Does not look bad. Boeing is definitely changing character. Just wanted to point that pattern out, how we're moving and how it does look a lot like the equal weight. We're not done looking at patterns yet when it comes to that. So you got Bitcoin on the daily, holding in up here. Boeing on the 15-minute chart. So you can watch this area. You can see where the last few days have traded right into this area. You got a heavy volume profile trading in that area. Not really interested in Boeing unless it breaks out of that box. So we need something to close above, at least on the 15-minute time frame. We can probably go out to the 30 with this box, draw our box on the 30 and wait for a 30-minute confirmation. If we're looking for a longer term play, you can do that. Go to your 30-minute time frame, draw a box around, set you some alerts. Alerts go off, to check the chart. You get the candle to close up above that level on the 30, which means you get confirmation. Then you got to take out your confirmation candle. Once that happens, you take your entry on the stock. Take it from there. So this is the TNX. This is the yields coming back in, which is taking some pressure off the rates. So we got CCJ still a strong chart. We got a flag break last week and been pushing higher. Nice little close above on Friday. We're watching this chart for continued upside. You can see the volume profile. It's getting easier up here. Lighter volume profile means price can move a little easier. A CCL. So you can kind of see this little pattern right here looks a lot like the equal weight. It's not perfect. I didn't draw it out because I wanted to focus on the contraction pattern, because while this pattern was forming, we were recommending the January monthly strike on that, and that moved over 100%. The first time we looked at CCL, it was in the 63 range. The second time, it was in the 83 range, and the third time was in the 166 range. So that's a 100% trade. If anybody caught that, congratulations. I just want to keep in mind there's a gap down here, and we will be continuing to watch these. And we're going to look at a few charts that's going to help us keep an eye on some of these names because we want to know where this money is going to be flowing into. All right, CENX, this is an aluminum stock. You can also see the little inverted head and shoulders. This one's pretty clean compared to some of the ones we've looked at previously, but you can see breaking out, moving higher. This is not a bad looking chart. It's in the metal sector, it's in the aluminum sector, and I have not looked at any of the other ones. This was a recommended chart, or it was a requested chart, so we're taking a look at it and definitely getting a breakout there. Now, we actually did close outside of the BB, so it's very important to see where we open up tomorrow to see if we open up outside of those BBs. May want to pull back in and flag at a moving average, and I wouldn't be so worried about it if it did that. One thing that does concern me is look at the amount of volume profile that you have in here, the amount of volume, and that's what happens a lot of times when you're buying laggards. And when you hear the word laggard, when you're looking to buy these laggards, this is a lot of what you have. You've got to plow back through so much overhead resistance that, for me, I look for bases on the top of the chart where I don't have all this overhead resistance to have to deal with. It's not always possible to do that, but that's what I usually normally try to do and recommend to do is stay on the top of your chart. That way you don't have to deal with all that. Coin, and that's a perfect example. That chart with that volume profile laid it all out for us. Very good example of that. And the reason why, we trade like we trade. So we got coin here, coin trying to push higher. Moving averages look great there. As long as Bitcoin's bullish, coin's worth keeping an eye on. So Costco, this is another one that we have been keeping an eye on. It's one that one of our members, Johnny, likes to. Costco's should be on everybody's radar coming into the holidays. Got to eat, and a lot of those meals will be purchased at Costco's. So this is one we've been keeping on the radar. You can see this little gap up here. We did pull back. I believe we pulled back here in sympathy with Walmart's earnings. So definitely Walmart's on the radar too, and we're going to look at that chart as well. But flagging right back into the 9. So right now your daily 9's holding. Want to keep a very close eye on this. We're looking for a push off this daily 9. If we do lose it, see if we hold the 20, if we do come in for a push back up above. But we're looking, now we do have this gap up above us on the way up. So you had this small gap here, but then you have this larger gap here. So that gap is resistant. So we do need to be a little careful with this one. If we get into the gap, we can look for a gap fill. Remember, the other side of the gap's resistance. Chart's it's close. We need to definitely keep an eye on this chart this week. This is the communications sector. You see, we got a gap here, actually a gap here, and a gap here. Looks strong. Google is a big part of the communication sector. XLP, consumer staples, trying to push back up here. You can see this little wedge break. You can also see a series of higher lows heading up, letting us know that we're in an uptrend. We're heading back to the 9. Once again, don't mean to bring up Costco's again, but it is the largest holding of the XLP. So it's a, if Costco's can push, it can pull a lot of these retail names up. We're going to look at some retail and travel ETFs here in a minute as well and take a look at those names. We're expecting, buying and money spending going into the holidays, people eating, people buying gifts, they're Amazon online ordering. We looked at the Amazon chart. Just a lot of things to expect. Discovery Financial Services back on the radar. You do got a series of higher lows here, so many gaps to have to fight through here. Definitely not the best looking chart. Got to clear this daily 50. You can see its price is kind of wedging there. Maybe some kind of breakout coming. I don't know. That gap is resistance until it's broken into a little bit. MACD doesn't look bad. Looks like it's trying to do something here. I think there's better places for your money right now. Disney weekly candle, a nice close above that weekly 50. Let's take a look at the daily. So Disney here got a couple gaps to the upside. You can see this nice flag break going higher, ripping. They had earnings, liked it. Nice move higher there on Disney. Want to keep an eye on this one. First red candle closing back into the Bollinger Bands. Might we see a little pull down, flagging back in? Possibly. Keep an eye on that one. DraftKings. perfect break, flag break here. I've seen a pullback candle for some backfill, and then a nice push back up off the 9 for a move higher. That candle closed above, indicating the move higher was coming there. Lilly just trading in this wedge going higher. ExxonMobil, nice close above here. You got your 9 and 20. We want to get out of those two moving averages. We don't want to be there. If we get a gap up, man, crude pushes tomorrow and takes that 9 out. We look at the crude chart. It's actually bear flagging back up to the 9. See how crude acts tomorrow. If crude sells, we can look for a pullback here as well. Google flagging into the 9, little small hammer there. Just, it can go either way. It can go either way. If we do push up on Google, we want to watch this range high. Not a bad looking chart. Google 15-minute chart. You can see the big move down on Friday with a decent recovery there going into the end of the day. You see a lot of chop and backfill. It wasn't until the very end of the day, that last half an hour or so, where we really started to give us a decent push there. Intel just been hugely strong. Took out this resistance level, previous resistance right here, got that candle to close above your previous high and was able to get a nice move higher. And as you can see, your volume profile, so there's less resistance up in this area, so that allows price to move higher easier. IWM 15-minute chart, pretty flat on Friday. Qs, we got two gaps down here. Great looking chart. Since we broke this wedge, come back. So you can see here we broke this was your breakout area, come back to retested the breakout area right there for a gap up and push. So we've been trying to trade higher. You can see last week was pretty tight. So we do need to clear this range. This gap is support. If we try to move lower, I like to get up above that peak, that range high right there. That candle, take that candle out, watch this range high over in this area. I should have a line drawn. Let's get a line drawn on that. So right now, this is the target on the Qs. We're expecting to get up into this area, and you can see we've tested it and struggling with it right there. Let's shrink this down and save this a little bit, and then we can talk about it. So you can see we gapped up over it. We did not get confirmation up above that level. So we need a candle to close up above. We get a daily candle to close up above that, we can look for a move higher. That's for your trending and your conservative traders. If you are looking for a candle to close, it could take a few days. We could hang out going into a low volume week, most likely, and volume's going to dry off. So that's going to affect the week as we go through. Qs intraday, pretty tight chop there. Qs, this is the weekly chart. So the weekly cup and handle, we've been watching the cup and handle on the monthly as well. So it's time to get it drawn out here on the weekly. You can see this range up here, this little zone I got highlighted. That area needs to be cleared. Targets the range high up here. If we can clear this area, we got some horizontal resistance, but it's getting very lighter. It's getting a lot lighter up there. So we should be able to move a lot easier. So this is what we're looking to clear. If we can clear this zone here and get out of this volume profile area, there is some to deal with up there, but it's not as bad if we just get out of this area. Got jets. So we got travel lines and airlines. So we're expecting people to be traveling, doing things like that. So we're going to take a look at the Jets ETF. And once again, you can kind of see this rounded bottom down here. You can see your series of higher lows heading higher. If I was to draw this out, it would look like a rough inverted head and shoulders pattern. I could definitely get a downward sloping with a breakout out of that. I may not see it, but I definitely see I can get a little shoulder there and put a shoulder here and call this a downward sloping inverted head and shoulders with a trend break. It looks like a lot like SPX, the equal weight that we looked at. That's all I'm saying. So things are starting to improve in the market, trying to improve. Now, I'm not saying everything's perfect. We do know that our Magnificent Seven stocks, we actually watch a few more than that, and it's actually a few more. But the tech stocks have been carrying this market. If they take some time off, we need somebody else to step in. And seeing these smaller stocks step in, these less cap stocks, smaller cap stocks step in and try to carry some of this weight to take some of the burden off the bigger stocks as well. You can see a decent MACD here. So Jets is not the most tradable with options, but there are other, like Delta Airlines is. JP Morgan, a nice move here. We're watching this range high on this candle. Watch the top of that wick for your next resistance level. McDonald's, nice flag breaks, one we've had on the radar. So we got McDonald's right at our 200 with it. Basically an inside day. We did gap up and close lower. So it's not exactly an inside day. It's not exactly Harami. We gapped up a little bit. But, I think we get the point. We need to clear this 50. And this will give the chance if they let it take a break here. But we do want, not 5,200, we want to be above that 200. May take another day or two to get up there. This MACD looks great. Definitely looks like it wants to go higher. And why people are out shopping and buying all that food and buying all those gifts for their family members, they're going to be stopping by McDonald's grabbing lunch because they don't have time to actually make lunch for themselves. So that's why one of the reasons McDonald's is going to be wanting to go up here into the holidays. Meta, nice close up here. Friday we did close above Thursday's candle. Need to clear that range high for a move higher. Nice looking chart there. Meta pretty flat on Friday. We did drift higher after that pre-market pull. Microsoft. So Microsoft, we do have this cup. Now, Microsoft's very difficult here and very tricky because we had some news come out on Friday. It actually pulled Microsoft back. Let's see if we can look at the 15-minute chart. Yeah, so here's the 15-minute chart. So there was some drama going in throughout the night. And apparently over the weekend on Sam apparently was pushed out of his role with OpenAI, and that does affect Microsoft. So Microsoft pulled on that. And then there was a lot of drama around that with other coworkers from that Sam's just actually turned in they basically quit too. So just not cool with the decision overall, and there's some drama going on there. So we're going to see how that one plays out right now. But as for price action, this is exactly what we're expecting. I was hoping to get a little more of a move higher. We're still respecting our 9. That after hours is going to put us below the 9. We need to see where they come in tomorrow at pre-market. This drama is going to affect what's happening on this chart right now. We've had mixed information being released, so that's also not very helpful for the actual price action or being able to judge where this thing's going to go. But I still stand by. So we have a particular way, and we do understand that cups are traded a particular way when they don't put the handle in. So I'm still expecting that, and this news could help increase the chances of us doing exactly that. So we'll keep an eye on Microsoft this week. We need to see where that news is going. We've already looked at the intraday chart. Microsoft, I mean, that's a strong weekly chart. We did pull back, but we still got to close above the previous candle. I mean, it's just a strong chart. It's a beast right now. Coming in NVIDIA, coming into earnings. Now, this is going to be affecting semiconductors all around. So NVIDIA earnings on watch Tuesday afternoon will be on our radar. All right, NVIDIA intraday chart, you can see the pull Friday, and we did bounce off that 200 on the 15, was able to come back, bounced off the 200 again. So that's, it's important to know where your levels are, where your moving averages are on your higher time frames. Your 15 and 30 is important. Now the 1 and 5 is very important to me. That 15 and 30 is as well. NVIDIA weekly chart trying to push higher here. This is the New York Stock Exchange Composite Index. So you can see big improvement here. This, last week we closed stronger back above the moving averages. We took that previous week off, so we're closing in a pattern we like to call the rising 1 there on the New York Stock Exchange. So that's big. We need some improvement there because we know breadth has been a little weak, lagging because of some of the names. So we do need to, this is just a good sign. We do need to get some more participation in the market if we're going to have this big end of the year rally like we would like to see. We'd like to see it broaden out. Even if we do have a rally, we'd like to see it a little bit broader than what it is now, at least, preferably a lot broader. All right, this is the NASDAQ Composite. We have this gap down here, pretty tight. Same thing with the Qs, not quite as strong as the Qs. The Qs is outranging the New York, or the NASDAQ Composite. Netflix pushing higher here. Nice move up. Watching this range high area up here coming back into a little bit of volume profile up in that area. Got this hole. So we're kind of in this hole right now. Looks like that's probably why we're moving so freely. Friday's candles, a little bit of indecision. Want some moving hours to catch up. That gap's been open for quite some time. So this may want to pull back in and give us a goose head type action there. All right, so this is OOTO. This is a travel ETF, and as you can see, I can draw a shoulder, put the head down here, then put another shoulder right there, and it looks like almost exactly trend break. And like CCL, I stuck with that little contraction pattern on CCL, but this gives you that same look. We draw a shoulder here. Let's draw it out. So if we run our trend line down here like that, and we run, oh, nope. Do this, very similar, very similar, very similar to what we were looking at with that SPX equal weight and breaking higher. So this is showing some improvements with some of the travel stocks, and that will be good. But keep in mind, you can see this has a ton of volume up here, a ton of volume profile. So we do need to be aware of that there is some resistance above us. The Qs, this is the monthly chart, strong chart. This candle's not closed yet, but we'd like to get that close above, preferably close above that wick, the whole 9 yards. Give us our cup and handle, and we can go higher. SPX, this is the normal SPX, and you can see the W pattern. It's a lower low W, but we were able to break out of this, confirmed it, going higher. So we know this area right here needs to be cleared. We really should be drawing a box from this candle line to that candle line and monitoring this area right here as a complete zone. So, but we do know 45.15 needs to be cleared. That's going to get us up above this area right here. Then we got, so let's draw it. Let's draw it. Go from here right in there, and you can see this area right here is what we're struggling with. So, and you can easily see there's a range in this area. So it's a zone that we just need to be aware of. And you can see as pushing into it, gapped up into it, struggle with that candle. You see struggle, struggle. So like the market better, would really like to see it pull back out of this area, then come back into it. That would give us the pullback we're looking for, come back into our 9, give us the pullback we're looking for in our breadth chart. We could cool some indicators down some, catch back up with some moving averages, and then try to go higher and get a running start back at that zone. So that zone right there is the area that we are struggling with right now, and that's the area we're focused on. SMH, nice push higher here, close above last week. Looks like it wants to go higher. Now, NVIDIA's earnings will affect this chart as well. The diamond, nice push higher here as well. You know, we can go back, look at the same zone on all these charts, draw a box from there to there, and you can see that there's some issues in that area that we need to be cleared. It's just a zone that we will perform better when we get back out of. The diamond pushing higher here. So we had this little inverted head and shoulders pattern, broke up, coming right back in, actually went below the pattern and going higher. Traditionally, the way inverted head and shoulders like to trade and head and shoulders patterns, they like to have these sharp moves coming back down, look like they're going to crash, go the opposite direction before moving higher. It's just traditionally the way that they like to trade, and understanding that is huge. So this is the SPY weekly chart. I mean, that's a strong chart. That's great. And on the SPY, we got to close above this area, but I still like to see it above that wick. So on the weekly chart, we could draw a box from this candle body to that wick, and we would prefer to be out of that area. We get out of that area, our markets will move better, up or down. Right now, we do look good. Moving average is turning up. So this histogram right here is the 9. That's your standard histogram that comes with your MACD. This is the 5 histogram. So this is based on your 9 moving average. This is based on your 5 moving average. And it's just, you know, I like to stay traditionally with the 9 while I'm trading. I just like to get another look just for technical analysis reasons. You can see this 5's already turned positive. Nice move. Nice looking chart, and the monthly chart looks great. The candle's not closed yet. Would prefer to get a candle to close up above that flag. Seeing some struggle coming into that zone. That's not a surprise. You can, I mean, think about it. When we're trading the 1 minute chart, when we get the same move, we go up, we're expecting to go higher, we pull back to put in a flag, we pull in a little deep, then we rush right back up and take the flag out. So confirmation above that flag is going to be a big deal for the end of this month, preferably taking out the range high. But if we can just get confirmation back above this flag, it'll be big. It's also getting above that, getting us out of an area of resistance that's coming through there. You can see the way those candles are, so we know there's an area of resistance in there. Now, once again, take a look at our moving averages, or our histogram, MACD, the histogram. You can see this is the 9, this is the 5. You can see how strong the 5 is, but very similar, just a nice push up on the 5. Of course, there's a lot more room for that histogram than that histogram, but they're very similar. You got your small bar with a nice bar coming back up. Just an early indicator. And that's all your histogram really is. It's an early indicator. It's like an early warning system of what's going on with your MACD. Yeah, so many people are just looking for MACD crosses. The MACD holds a treasure trove of information by learning the character changes and how it's acting. And we call stuff out throughout the day just by the angle of it in trades work, just because of what we see the MACD doing. It's so much more than just, if this is all you're looking for, you're missing out on so much. We need to open up and broaden and look inside. This needs to be what we're looking for first. The price action first, then your moving averages are just a tool to help judge the price action. The price action is the most important because it's the only one that pays. MACD doesn't pay you anything. MACD is trying to follow something. It is lagging behind something, the asset that does pay. The asset that does pay you is your candles on your charts. Focus on your candles. Tight action here on the SPY, very tight. Once again, we can draw a box right through here and look, just wait for a breakout of the box on the 15 and the 30. Square pushing higher. Got a very rough W pattern here. Got some gaps, got the lower low, but it's working, confirmed, going higher. Coming back up into a previous level of resistance. So right now, this previous candle right here, this range, this zone, I would draw a box from this up to there. That is your target. You get up into there, you look to take profits, wait for it to set back up. Tesla. Pretty tight in here as well. You can see your volume profile bars are pretty thick in there. Big pullback on Friday just to rage higher. It was actually the stock to be in for a little while. TTD still trading in this weekly time frame. Back, they're still in the Bollinger Bands, but this 50 is resistance. So we do need to clear your weekly 50. Still trading in this overall cup and handle type setup there, the little wedge we have going on there. TTD on the daily looks very bearish right now. Got a bear flag confirmed, trying to go lower. This range low as of right now would be my target. Very indecision candle, like it may want to come back up and recatch up with some moving averages before going any lower. I would kind of give it a day or two, let it straighten itself out. Taiwan Semi, got an M pattern here confirming, going higher. We've called that out. It's been on the radar. Still looks great here. And I think the semis, semis are still on watch. I get it. We're watching some store stuff here. You can also see the downward sloping inverted head and shoulders. But either way, it's already broke out of that. We've been calling all this stuff. We are moving higher here. So this is what we're watching. We're looking for a move up to this area right here, right now. And above that area, there's a gap up there that needs to be filled. So we need to keep an eye on that. And remember, Taiwan Semi has a gap from that wick right here down to this wick right here. Draw it on across and see where we're at. That's the second chart of Taiwan Semi. All right, XLK, nice breakout here. Got this gap up here, huge for the XLK, which has been the strongest without a doubt. We don't have to highlight that, but already took out this range high up here. Looks like there's a little piece of a gap. Maybe, I'm not going to draw that out. I don't think so. I don't think there's no gap there. Very strong. There is a gap here. I'm sorry, there is a gap here. I was looking at a level back here. XLK weekly going higher. Look at this weekly close. I mean, it's just a beast. XLK is a beast right now. Look at that MACD. We want to go higher. Histogram for the pinch, opening right back up. This thing wants to go higher. Let's go. Tesla Tesla weekly flagging back up into some moving averages there. Tesla on a daily got a gap filled, so that gap's filled, come back down, testing the 9. This is actually, I covered this in the video Friday morning. Perfect trade for what we were looking for. Opened up, moved right down into the 9 on a daily, and then went right back up. It's exactly what we were looking for. Great play for anybody who did catch that one. Got to clear that 50 to go higher. The chart does not look bad. We're getting higher highs coming up out of here. This chart does not look bad. There's some drama going on right now that could affect the stock price as well. So we just need to be very patient with this one and keep it on the radar and stay very tactical. There's going to be opportunities there. Uber, strong push up. Want to see a candle close above. I'd like to see this one flag back into the 9. Got a great looking MACD, but a candle close above it. We get above that area, it's time to go. If the candle moves above that area, that we can go in for a quicker trade. If we're a conservative trader, we're looking for a candle to close above that area. So back to Walmart here. So this ugly move down on Walmart. Nice gap down on earnings, and they still were trying to sell it. You can see Walmart's trading in this wedge here, and I've added this line. So far, that line's holding. Will they buy it off of that line? So they come for it here. They come for it here. Will they come for it here? Now, these moving averages are open. Our Bollinger Bands are opened up nicely. That MACD is bearish. We lose that. We're looking for a move down to this range. Watch your candle bodies. You can draw a box from this candle body over to the tip of that candle body and watch that area. You can see your wicks are in that area. You clear that. Then we're looking for a move down. So, but you can see this area right here may be a little difficult to try to trade in. So if you want to go short, we like it better down here. And this 20 is probably going to get itself worked out by the time it gets set up for it. XLE trying to push back up to that 9, or back up to the 20 there, back above the 9. XLF super strong. Candles are getting tight up there. This may want to come back in, and if it did pull in a little bit, I wouldn't panic. Just don't panic. The markets want to go higher. It's healthy. Pullbacks are healthy. Coming into a low volume week, we could definitely grind higher the whole week, but we could also pull back. And I would like to see the market pull back a little bit, reset up a day or two, so then we could go higher. So this is XRT. This is a retail ETF. Now you can see this nice cup down here, but you can also see possible shoulder, just a small possible shoulder. Maybe we get a small possible shoulder pulling back to put in a lower high, or like a cup and handle type move. So it'll look very similar to this side before going higher. I do think retail needs to be on the radar right now. I can't say that enough. We were watching a couple of charts like a American Outfitters on the weekly. Nice breakout there, cleared some levels, trying to go higher, and it's not even one of the bigger ones. It's just one that the chart looked decent on, and I'm sure there's many others. A TLT, you can kind of see the upward sloping inverted head and shoulders right there too as well. So we need bonds to go up. Kind of looks like it's trying to set up for us. We can also see a little dip up here in volume profile. So if we can just clear this area and get started, maybe that can help us get a running start to going higher. Definitely got some gaps up above us. Very gappy chart. IWM, nice move last week, trying to recover. This is what we need. I like this better. If we can clear these moving averages, I'm going to like it a lot better. If we clear that, looking for a move up to that range high. So you can start to see, I can get a shoulder and get some kind of little shoulder there, draw a trend line down, and it's starting to look a lot like the SPX equal weight. Amazingly, things may be starting to line up here. And back to the put to call ratio. I hope we find this video helpful, and I am sorry for the length, but there's a lot that we had to cover. I hope you have a great holiday. If I do not get the chance to see you before Thanksgiving, please spend time with your family. Please enjoy it. It's very important. That's why we do this, right? I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll see you in the trading room.